As a backend developer, you must be able to communicate with external services. It is an important skill for you. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you this with a good practical example, YouTube Data API. I will create a new ASP.NET 8 Web API project and I will use YouTube NuGet package for this tutorial. You can download the completed project codes from my GitHub and its link is the video description. Don't forget to give a start to its repository if you find it useful. Let's implement our YouTube Web API project. For this tutorial, I'm going to use Visual Studio 2022. So let's go and let's create a new project. And here I choose C#, all platforms and web. And here I can search for Web API. And here you can see that this is the project I'm going to use, ASP.NET Core Web API. And it is a C# based project. So let's choose it and go to the next step. Here you need to create a name for your project. I choose a name, for example, your tube. This is just an example name for my project in drive F. Yeah, that's good. So your tube is my project. Next. And here you can see that I'm using .NET 8, which is a long-term support version of .NET. That's good. For authentication, I don't choose anything. Configure for HTTPS, yes. I don't need Docker. Yes, I need to enable OpenAPI support, and I use controllers. Everything is good. Let's create it. Well, this is my project and let's start. So in first step, let's delete this weather forecast. I don't need it. And also in controllers, let's delete this weather forecast controller. Good. Now let's start. The first thing is I want to have a good folder structure in my project. So I will add a new folder to my project and I will choose the name of core. This is just an example. You can use any type of foldering you want. I just use this because I think this is good and readable. So inside of core, I create some new folders. So the first thing is I need to have some models for my project. So I create the models and also I will add a new one named of iServices because I want to use services and I use interface for them and also services. So it's a better idea to have some folders for them. This is it. And then let's start. The first thing is let's create our model. So we want to have some different models. Let's go and add a new class. My first model would be video result. Let's add it. It is a C# class. Good. So this is a public class of video result. And inside of that, we need to have some properties. So let me add all of them. The first one would be the ID. So I have public string of ID. And after that, I want to have a thumbnail, which is a type of a string. So in my video result, I have ID and thumbnail. And after that, I want to have another field with name of title. And also, I want to keep the URL of my video. So I will create a string of URL. And also, let's have a publish time, which is the type of datetime offset, because this is the type that is returning from the YouTube Web API. So this is it. This is the first model. The video result with ID and thumbnails and title, URL, and also publish time. Let's create the next model. So add new class, and the name of it is playlist result. Let's add it. Okay, this is another model with name of playlist result. Let's add some fields to it. And for this class, I want to use a public string of ID, and also I want to have thumbnail for it, and also title and a URL. So my playlist will have these 4 properties. That's good. Let's go and create the next model. So let's add a new class for it. The next one is channel result. Add, and inside of this, the first thing is, yeah, it suggests me. So I want to have an ID. Then I want to have public string title. And after that, let's have URL. So this is it. Let's have a quick review. So we created video result with ID, thumbnails, title, URL, and publish time. Then we have playlist result with ID, thumbnails, title, and URL. And also we have channel result with ID, title, and URL. This is it. Let's close them. And let's create another model. So I will add a new class with name of search response DTO. Let's add it. Okay. And inside of that, I want to have a list of video results with name of videos, and I will use this new list of video result as its value. And after that, I want to have a list of playlist result with name of playlists, and again I will use this new list of playlist result for it. And also I want to have another list with type of channel result with name of channels, and I use a new list of channel result for its value. This is it. So this is the search response DTO, and it is the DTO that we want to return to our user for the search response. So this is it. And also let's create another type of response. So let's add a new class with name of channel response DTO. So we have a search response DTO and also a channel response DTO. You know what? We can copy this for my channel response, and the response type of inside of the response of channel. We already have the videos and playlists. That's good, but we don't need these channels. So this is the difference, and you can see that this is all of the models that we want to work with our data: a playlist result, a playlist result, a video result, channel result, and then we use these three DTOs inside of our search response DTO. We have all of them, the three of videos, playlists, and channels. And inside of channel response DTO, we just need to have the videos and also playlists. So this is it. This is all the classes that we want to work when we want to convert our data. And I just need to add another model. Let's add it, and then I will tell you why I'm using this. So I use name of YouTube keys. That's it. And inside of that, I want to have two props. The first one is a public string of API key, and also I want to have another one with name of public string of application name. We need these two strings to work with our YouTube service. We need to receive these from the YouTube website, and then we use that. But for that, we create this model, and we use that to handle these strings. This is it. This is all of the models that we need. So let's go and go to the next step. In next step, we need to create an interface. So let's add a new class. But here we need to choose interface, and for the name of it, I want to use YouTube client service. So this is the interface I want to use, the public interface of YouTube service. And inside of that, I want to have two methods. The first method will return a task with type of search response DTO that we just created it here, and the name of it would be search async method, and it will receive a string of q and also an int of max result. This is it. And after that, I want to have another task with the response type of channel response DTO with name of search channel async, and inside of this I will receive a string of channel name as well as an integer of max result. So this is it. We create this interface and we implement this interface to use the implemented version of search async and search channel async, and then we inject that into our services. So this is it. Let's copy this name and create our service. So after this, I want to create the service. So on the services folder, let's add a new class, and here, the name of it is class, and here we just need to use the name of YouTube client service. So let's add this class. That's it. And we need to inherit from this interface. So let's paste it, and because we need to implement it, let's press Ctrl dot, and it will suggest us to implement this interface. I say enter. Yeah, please implement that. So we need to implement it. This is for the first one, and this is for the next one. And the first step is to receive our YouTube API key. So you saw that we created these YouTube keys. We need to receive the API key and the application name that we want for our services, and then we need to use that inside of this. So let's start and implement our service. But because in this service we need to use the YouTube API, we need to have its package. So let's go to the here you can see on the dependencies. Let's manage the NuGet package. And inside of the browse, we need to search for google.apis.youtube.v3. This is it. This is the package that we want. You can see that it is here. It has over that 5 million downloads. That's good. So I install that in my project. Yes, apply. Okay, it says not all codes. Okay, we need to implement that. No problem. So now we have that service and we can use that. Now let's do this. Let's go and here the first thing is inside of this service you need to have an instance of that service. So we will create it as a private read only and then we create that inside of the constructor. Let's do this. So I use a private read only of YouTube service. This is it, the YouTube service that is coming from google.apis.youtube.v3 and then I use the name of underline YouTube service. This is it. No, let's press enter. Okay. No, we need to inject that YouTube API keys to this service because we need to use that. And for that, because we need to use this YouTube service in two different methods, we create this YouTube service here and we will configure it inside of our constructor. So let's do that. Let's press CTOR to create our constructor. And inside this constructor, we want to receive that API keys. So we use this I options. And inside of that, we say that we want to receive that option with name of YouTube keys. That is coming from our models. Yeah, that's it. And we use the name of YouTube keys for it. We want to receive this. And inside of our constructor, we say that our YouTube service instance is a new YouTube service. And inside of that, we need to say this is a new base client service using google.api.services. Yeah, that's it. Dot initializer. All of these codes are available through the GitHub Web API documents. And then here we need to pass that thing. So the first thing is API key. We need to receive this API key. And we say this API key is coming. You know that it needs to be something like this. And then we need to have the application name. And also it needs to be something else. So for this, we are using these YouTube keys. So let's configure it here and then use it. We need to save these YouTube keys inside of this model. And in order to doing this, the best practice for it is to use our app setting and create these keys inside of that app setting and then inject them into these YouTube keys. And we receive that here inside of I options of YouTube keys. Let's do this. It's too easy. You just need to go to app settings and here we need to add another key. We say YouTube and we say this YouTube is an object and we need to use this name. So let's copy this because it exactly needs to use this name. So we say API key is something and also this application name is something. Delete. Okay. No, I think everything is good. So we have this YouTube with API key and application name. And we want to use these values inside of our service, so they need to be injected. Let's do and inject them. It's too easy. You just need to use this key. So I copy this YouTube, and this is the name of this YouTube section inside of app setting. Let's go to program.cs, and here let's delete these comments, and also let's delete this comment. Okay, so here we need to add them. So we use builder.services.configure, and inside of this configure we need to use our YouTube keys model, and here we need to pass that configuration. So where is this configuration come? They're coming from that app setting, and we can access to that using the builder.configurations.get. So you can see that we have a get children, get connection strings, get a lot of things. So we need to use the get section and we pass that name that we created, which is YouTube. So using this, we will inject this YouTube into these YouTube keys, and the value is coming from this app setting, and they will be accessible inside of this YouTube keys. And here, when I say I'm using this I option of YouTube keys, that data would come from this. And that's it. So let's use that. And I will use the YouTube API keys that I'm receiving dot the value dot API key. So this is the dynamic version of using our keys, and it's important because using this method you can change your names future in the server, and it is not hard coded. So YouTube dot values dot application name. That's it. So we created our YouTube service and we injected its keys, which is the API key and application name, inside of our constructor. And let's have a cleanup. So I use a region for it. I say this is the region for DI and CTO. It means that this is for the dependency injection and constructor. And I will use this region. You can see you can minimize it and your code is very clean. That's it. Let's continue. The first thing is we need to have search async. We are receiving a string of Q and int of max result, and we want to return a task of search response. Let's do this. So we want to create a var of search request, which is the YouTube service dot search dot list, and for this list we need to say that this part is a snippet. This is it, and then we want to send the search request dot queue, and we say this is the receiving queue that we are sending to it. Request. This is it. Request. And after that, we say that your search result dot search request dot maximum result is this maximum result that we are sending to you. And after that, we need to create a response. So we say var of search response is await of search request dot execute async. And don't forget to use this async. You see that when I add await, async is automatically added to this. So let's do this. So this is the search response that we have. And then we need to convert this data to a good and readable code and data that can be readable. And we use that search response DTO that we created here. This is it. So we have a lot of data and we need to use them inside of this. We have videos, playlists, and channels. Let's do this. We have this search response here. So we need to create a new instance for our search response. So search response DTO of search response DTO is a new search response DTO. Then we need to create a for each because we have a lot of data inside of, no, not for each. A lot of data inside of our search response. So we say that for the var of search item inside of our search response. So we have a search response dot item. We will receive different items, which is a list of search result item that is coming from the API. So we have a lot of search items and they have different kinds. I will show you that when we run this search. So inside of that, we need to create a switch case. So let's use switch, and we want to handle the data and use them as the search item. In search item we have an ID, and in ID we have kind. So we have different kinds, and for each kind we need to add them to videos or channels or the playlist. So let's do this, and here we can have different cases. So in the case of YouTube hashtag video, we can have different things. And let's copy this. The next case is the channels. We can have playlists. So in different scenarios, we need to create new data and pass them to the search response DTO. Let's do this. So if the case is this, the YouTube video, we say okay, it's not working because, yeah, this is not required here. Okay, search response DTO. So this is a video, so we need to add it to search response DTO dot videos dot add, and we want to add a new video result because this is a video result, and inside of that we have the ID, which is this search item dot ID dot video ID, and also we need to have a thumbnail. So for this thumbnail we have the search item dot snippet dot thumbnails dot medium dot URL. I'm using the code exactly as the document, so you don't need to memorize them. They are all accessible from the YouTube API documentation. And after this, I want to have the title. So for the title, we need to use the search item dot snippet dot title. This is it, and after that, we need to have the URL. So for the URL, we are receiving it as search item dot video dot search item dot I dot video ID, but we need to add the full address from YouTube. So I will do that. Let me copy that. So this is it. The address is https www.youtube.com/watch and question mark v equals to that address. So in order to use a dynamic method, we can use a dynamic string. We can use this $, and then here we can use our value. And what is our value? It's exactly search item dot id dot video ID. So I will copy that from here. And this is the value of our URL that I want to use. And the next thing is the publish time, which is the search item dot snippet dot publish datetime offset, and that's it. And here let's add a semicolon, and then we need to break. So if this is the case of the YouTube video, we will add this into our YouTube videos and then we break. So this is it. The next one is easier. The next thing is the YouTube channel. So if it's channel, let's go and let's copy this. So this is it. So in case of channel, we say search response DTO dot. This time we use channels dot add. You can see that it is suggesting add new channel result. Thank you. And then inside this channel result, we need to create a new value. So we need to have an ID. The ID, let's copy from here. So the ID is search item dot ID, but this time we use channel ID. This is it. And after that, we need to use the title. And again, we have the title from here. Let's copy. Title is this. Okay, we have an error. What is the error? Cannot even convert type of string to int. Response dot channels. So for the channels, new channel result. Let's see what is the type of the ID. No, it must not be int here. You see, this is a suggestion, and that was not good. Let's check the video result. Yeah, you see, this is a string. That's good. Playlist is a string, but channel is a string. Is an int. It's not right. It must be a string. No, it's right. Okay, no, we don't have problem. That's good. So for the channel result, we create ID and title, and the ID would be search item dot ID dot channel ID, and the title would be search item dot snippet dot title. And then let's use break. This is it. And for the final one, which is the YouTube playlist, let's copy this quickly from here to be faster, and then change that. So this time it's a playlist. So we search response DTO dot, this time we use playlists, yeah, that add a new, instead of video result, we need to use a playlist response. And for the ID of it, we use search item dot ID dot playlist ID. And for the what is the error? Pages doesn't contain definition for. Oh, this is not playlist response. This is a playlist result. We have ID, yeah. Then we have thumbnail. The thumbnail again is search item dot snippet dot thumbnails dot medium dot URL. That's right. And we have a title is search item dot snippet dot title. That's right. We don't need the publish name because we don't need that. And also for the URL, this time it's not this watch, and it must be a playlist, and instead of we use list, and here we use search item dot ID dot playlist ID. So this is it, and this is for the switch, and this is for the for each. So after this, we will return the search response DTO. Let's delete these extra spaces, and this, let's press Ctrl KD. Good. So this is the search, and we created that using our input Q and max result. And here inside of this for each, we will convert the data to the videos and also the channels and the playlists. That's it. And we can use this. So let's go and implement the next one. The next one is this. Let's open it again. The search channel async. We are receiving channel name and max result. And the next commands are like the search async. So let's copy the first lines from here and manage them. It's faster because they are same. So the first thing is we have a var of search request is underline YouTube service.search.list. Again, we type of snippets. That's good. And this time we don't use this queue because we want to use just the channel. So we say search result dot channel ID is this channel name that we are receiving from this here string of channel name, and then we use this max result. That's good. And then we need to use the search request dot order because we need to change this order, and it is a search resource dot list request dot order enum dot date. This is it. So we use this channel ID and max result and orders, and then we need to say var of response is await of search request dot execute async, but it seems that we have an error because the await operator can be used within an async method because we need to add async here. Yeah, that's right. And after that we have the response, and again we have the search response DTO of search response DTO is a new response, and then again we have a response. We need to convert them to this channel response that we have videos and playlists. You can see that it is like the previous version, so we can again use that codes and work with them. So let's go and copy this for each completely from here and paste it here and minimize it. You know that here inside of the channel response we just have videos and playlists, and we don't use channels. So let's delete this channel from here because this is not the case that we want. Okay, so this time we say that for each search item in search response dot items, and again we have a switch on search item dot id dot kind, and the first thing is we say case of YouTube video we use the this is not the search response. This must be a this time it must be a channel response DTO, and here we use channel response DTO. That's good. And use this channel response DTO dot videos dot add again new video result. Here everything I think is the same here because we have search item dot id dot video id. For thumbnail we use search item dot snippet dot thumbnails dot medium dot url. For title is search item dot snippet dot title. Again URL is the watching of search item dot id dot video id, and we have a publish time. That's good. And then we use break, and then in case of YouTube playlist, let's copy this name of channel response, and here we use channel response dot playlist dot add to new playlist of we have id, thumbnail, title, url, and I think everything is good because they are the same. And then we break, and here after this for each, which is this yellow curly brace, from here after it we return the channel response DTO. And that's it. So this is the implementation of the YouTube client service, and everything is ready to use inside of our controllers. So let's go and implement it inside of our controllers. So I will add a new controller. So the type of it must be an API controller of empty, and here we need to use YouTube control. That's it. Namespace of youtube.controller, route of API controller, good, and API controller, and a public class of YouTube controller. That's it. And because we want to use the interface of our service, we will define that here and we inject that. So let's use a private read only of YouTube client service of no, not underline client service, underline YouTube client service is a better name, I think. And then we need to inject that from our constructor, and it's easy in Visual Studio with 2022. You just press Ctrl dot and you use generate constructor with this. That's it. You can see that inside our constructor, we receive this iYouTube client service and we inject that here. So let's do this. Let's go to program.cs and handle this injection. So we need to add it. So we say builder dot services dot add scopes of iYouTube client service and we inject to YouTube client service to it. That's it. So using this add scope, we will inject that YouTube's client service into our services, and when we use our YouTube client service inside of our controller, it would be automatically handled here. So we have this our YouTube service, and let's do this. Let's create the first HTTP route resource. So we create an HTTP GET and we use a route of search for it, and then let's create a public async task with type of iActionResult, and for the name of it we can use the search. This is it, and inside of our search we need to receive two things. So from query we need to receive a string of q, and also from query we need to receive an int of max result, and we use default value of 15 for it. That's it. So inside of it we say var of result is the await of our YouTube service dot search async, and we need to pass two things, the q and also the max result. This is it, and then we simply return an OK with the result. This is it. Let's copy paste and create the next one because it's similar to this. So copy and create the next method. So the next method is HTTP of search was the previous one was search, but this time we use the channel slash the ID. This is it. So this time we are going to use this ID from our route. So we say that this channel ID, this time it's not from query, it's from the from route. We use the string of ID, and also from the query we are receiving int of max result with default value of 50, and this time we say for the var of result we use YouTube client service dot search channel async, and we need to send the ID and also the max result to it, and then we need to return this OK, and we just need to change this name to search channel. So let's rebuild our solution to see do we have any type of errors or not, or rebuild is successful. Okay, we have some errors. Identifier expected. Oh, this is not. This is a string of q, and we pass q and also ID and pass ID. Okay, rebuild again. Rebuild successful. Okay, everything is good. And the final thing is we need to see what is this API key and application name. So everything is ready and we can use them. The only thing is we need to receive this API key and application name. So we need to register in the YouTube console and receive this. Let's go and do this. So this is the documentation for the developers of Google, and you can see that here the related data about YouTube data API for the .NET client library is here. You can see the data here, and also here you can browse some documentation and also read the developer's guide, and also the test API explorer, and also a sample for it, and also the NuGet package. So the API sample code is here. I'm using this code in this tutorial, and you can see that. And also you need to go here to console.cloud.google.com and create a new project to use its project name and also API key. So let's click here on the select project, and here you need to create a new project. So let's choose a name for it. For example, I say the Empower YouTube tutorial 2024, or it cannot be more than 30 characters, no problem. So Dev Empower YouTube tutorial. This is it. And we don't need to any organization. Okay, let's create it. Okay, it's created. Now Dev Empower YouTube, let's select it. And this is the new project. So let's go here. First, let's go here to see it again. Here you can see that I'm working on Dev Empower YouTube tutorial, and this is the project number and project ID. So let's copy this ID from here. We need to use this ID inside of our project as our application name. Let's copy it and go to the project, paste that. So my application name would be this. Now let's go and work on the API key. And here, let's go to our dashboard. And here we need to go to explore and enable APIs. That's good. So this is the traffics and the other things, but I don't want them for now. And let's go to the libraries and choose the library that you want to use for this service. So I want to use this YouTube data API. Yeah, it's it. Let's click on it. And we need to enable this. Then we can have access to our YouTube data using its application name and an API key that we need to create. Let's wait for it. Okay, so our YouTube data API is enabled, and that's good. And it says that to use this API, yeah, you may need some credentials. So let's create a credential for it. And here it says select an API. Yeah, this is it, YouTube data API. What data you will accessing? Public data. Next. And here you can see that this is my new API key. So let's copy it and let's say done. Okay, now we create an API key, and if you go to the credentials here, you can see that I have an API key. That's good. Now let's go and use this API key in our project. And here I paste that API key. Now I have an application name and API key, and my project must work. So let's start and see if my project is working or not. Okay, this is the swagger of my project. So let's click on this API YouTube search, and here I search for .NET. Let's see if it's work or not, and max result of 50, and execute. Okay, you can see that we have a 200 response. It means that everything is good, and we received this. Okay, let's copy this URL because this is a web API. So let's paste it and see it here. So you can see that I have some I have videos, playlists, and also channels. So I have 46 items, 2 items, and 2 items for videos, playlists, and channels. In channels, I have this, and you see the URL is not right. We must test that. And also in the playlists, you can see that we have the ID and thumbnail, title, and URL. And also for the videos, we have ID, thumbnail, title, URL, and publishing. Let's test one of them. For example, for this, it says C# in 100 seconds with this URL. Let's first see its thumbnail. Yeah, this is the thumbnail of it. Good. Let's open it in a new tab. What is a .NET? But let's copy this again to be sure. Let's paste it. Okay, what is a .NET? And let's copy this URL and test it. Yeah, what is a .NET? That's good. And it seems that it's right. Now let's test the playlist. For example, for this one, this is the ID of it. Let's copy the thumbnail. Yeah, C#.NET, introduction to .NET. And let's, the title is C#.NET user videos, Mr. Banger Raju. Thank you, Mr. Raju. Let's copy this to see the playlist. Yeah, the playlist is right. That's good. And also we have channels, but we don't have the right URL. Okay, let's go and see what is the problem with our URL of the channels. Okay, let's go to the YouTube client service, and in our search, so the first thing is videos, and we create a URL, good. Then the channel, and yeah, we forgot that URL. So let's copy this URL from here. And here we say that the URL is youtube.com/, but this time we need to use channel/ and the search item dot id dot channel id. I think this must works, and the playlist we have good, and here we have playlist. And okay, let's test it again. Okay, search. Let's use ASP.NET 15, execute, and copy this. Okay, my videos, playlist, and yeah, so this time I have this. So if I open it in a new tab, yeah, it's working, that's good. So it seems that our search is working, and the next thing is let's test some channel. So we have a channel ID, we want to search that. So let's see what was that channel. So this is one channel. Let's say this is it. Copy, and inside of YouTube slash channel slash ID, let's paste this ID, and 50, or let's say 10 result is enough. Let's execute to see. Okay, you see that we are receiving the videos from that channel, and that's good. Let's copy this URL, and it is working because we passed this maximum result, but we have a default value for that. If we don't pass, we have the default value. Good. So we have these videos like this. So this is, for example, the first one is this is its thumbnail, another thumbnail. Good. And let's see one of the videos like this. Yeah, it seems that it's working. Amazing. So it seems that our project is working, and we created a web API project using ASP.NET, and we are using the YouTube web API service, and we don't have any problem. That's good. So you can see that it is working, and you can download this completed project from my GitHub, and the link of it is in the video description. I hope this video helps you. Let me know what is your opinion about it. Have a good time, and goodbye.